Ingrid Bergman, the great talent icon of Hollywood, who is she really? A silver screen goddess with a divine beauty, or a woman caught up in a whirlwind of passion, scandal, and never-before-revealed secrets? What made the good Swedish girl become the center of one of the most infamous love scandals in cinema history, to the point that the U.S. senator had to stand up and condemn? And why was a letter sent to an Italian director enough to cause her entire brilliant career to collapse overnight? Was Ingrid Bergman's real life like the perfect image that Hollywood created? Or behind the halo is a tragedy full of ambition, betrayal, and irreversible choices? Ingrid Bergman was born on August 29, 1915, in Stockholm, Sweden. She grew up in a world completely removed from the glamour of show business. Her childhood was marked by tragedy. She lost her mother when she was just 2 years old, and her beloved father, a photographer who had instilled in her a love for images and the performing arts from a young age, passed away when she was only 12. Orphaned and shy, she was raised by relatives, but found her escape and calling on the stage. Despite her quiet appearance, Bergman quickly revealed an extraordinary emotional range and pursued acting with unwavering determination. She enrolled at the prestigious Royal Dramatic Theatre School in Stockholm, which had also trained another Swedish legend, Greta Garbo. Her talent soon made her stand out, and before long she began appearing in Swedish films, where her radiant presence and natural acting style earned critical acclaim. One of her first breakout roles came in the 1936 Swedish film Intermezzo, which would later catapult her to international stardom when it was remade in Hollywood. In 1939, at the invitation of producer David O. Selznick, Bergman came to Hollywood to star in the American version of Intermezzo, a romantic drama opposite Leslie Howard. With her gentle, natural beauty, soft voice, and sincere acting, she stood in stark contrast to the more stylized stars of the time. Audiences were captivated, and Ingrid quickly became one of the most sought-after actresses of the early 1940s. Her career soared rapidly and brilliantly. Over the next few years, she starred in a string of classic films, showcasing her range and emotional depth. One of her most iconic roles was as Ilsa in the 1942 film Casablanca, opposite Humphrey Bogart. The film has since become one of the most beloved in cinematic history, and Bergman's portrayal of a woman torn between love and duty is central to its enduring appeal. Her radiant face, especially in the poignant scenes at Rick's Cafe, remains etched in the memory of audiences around the world. Bergman's work during this period earned her widespread acclaim and numerous Academy Award nominations. In 1944, she won her first Academy Award for Best Actress for her captivating performance in Gaslight, a film portraying a woman who gradually comes to believe she is going insane. The psychological intensity and vulnerability she brought to the role highlighted her remarkable acting skills. This was followed by other memorable performances, including in Alfred Hitchcock's notorious 1946, where she starred alongside Cary Grant in a complex story of espionage, passion, and betrayal. Once again, she demonstrated her ability to command the screen with grace and emotionally raw authenticity. She followed her heart and moved to Italy, collaborating with Roberto Rossellini on a series of neo-realist films, including Stromboli, 1950, Europa, 51, and Journey to Italy. Although these films were not commercially successful at the time, they were later recognized for their influence on modern cinema and their bold experimentation. After years abroad, Bergman made a triumphant return to American cinema in 1956 with her role in Anastasia, which earned her a second Oscar. This time, she was warmly welcomed back by an industry that had once turned its back on her. She continued acting in both European and American films, proving herself to be one of the most versatile and courageous actresses of her generation. She also received numerous stage and television offers, including an Emmy-winning performance in A Woman Called Golda, where she portrayed Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir. Over the course of her career, Ingrid Bergman was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 3, along with 2 Emmys, 1 Tony, and countless other honors. She performed in 5 languages and worked with some of the greatest directors of the 20th century, including Alfred Hitchcock, Ingmar Bergman, and Sidney Lumet. But beyond the accolades, it was her unmistakable sincerity and quiet dignity that endeared her to audiences across generations. Ingrid Bergman was a woman who lived boldly, acted brilliantly, and refused to be confined by the narrow expectations of her era. Even when scandal threatened to overshadow her accomplishments, she never lost her integrity or dedication to her craft. In her personal life, she endured painful ups and downs, marriages, divorces, motherhood, and illness. But she faced it all with astonishing composure. Ingrid Bergman, the Swedish actress renowned for her beauty and talent, married Peter Aron Lindström in 1937. Lindström was a respected medical professional, specifically a neurosurgeon, representing a world vastly different from the glamour and allure of Hollywood and the international film industry where Bergman made her name. Their marriage, though initially stable and seemingly conventional, became increasingly complex as Bergman's stardom rose and her involvement in the film industry deepened. Ingrid and Peter Lindström had 1 daughter, Pia Lindström, born in 1938, who would later become a successful television journalist and news anchor. Although outwardly resembling a traditional family, the couple's relationship eventually grew strained, largely due to the demands of Bergman's career and the personal challenges she faced as she aged and gained even greater international fame. In the late 1940s, Ingrid Bergman's life took a dramatic turn when she began a romantic relationship with Italian filmmaker Roberto Rossellini. Rossellini was a celebrated and influential director, best known as a pioneer of Italian neorealism. Their affair began while Bergman was still married to Lindström, a fact that ignited significant scandal at the time. Their relationship was both passionate and controversial, as it defied the societal expectations of marriage and fidelity. The affair became public when Bergman gave birth to Rossellini's child, a daughter named Isabella Rossellini, in 1952. The birth of this child marked a major rupture in Bergman's personal life and sparked intense media attention and public debate. After Isabella was born, Ingrid Bergman divorced Peter Lindström in 1950, ending their 13-year marriage. Shortly afterward, Bergman and Rossellini were officially married in Mexico. Their union marked a new chapter in Bergman's life, one deeply intertwined with Rossellini's cinematic vision and Italian culture. The couple had 2 more children together, Roberto Ingmar Rossellini, born in 1954, and Isotta Ingrid Rossellini, born in 1956. Despite their creative collaboration and growing family, their marriage faced numerous challenges, including professional pressures, cultural differences, and relentless public scrutiny following their earlier scandal. Ultimately, Bergman and Rossellini divorced in 1957, ending a deeply complex and influential relationship that left an indelible mark on both their personal lives and cinematic history. In 1958, just a year after her divorce from Rossellini, Ingrid Bergman married Lars Schmidt, a Swedish theatrical producer and impresario. Schmidt played a key role in promoting Bergman's stage work in Europe, and their relationship provided a more stable and private environment for the actress after years of public controversy. Their marriage lasted nearly 2 decades, from 1958 to 1975. During this time, Bergman balanced her career with her personal life and benefited from Schmidt's dedication to the arts and his management of her theatrical projects. However, like many long marriages, their relationship eventually ended in divorce, closing yet another chapter in Bergman's complex and multifaceted personal life. When Ingrid Bergman wrote about Gregory Peck in her memoirs, she didn't just mention his appearance, though that alone was unforgettable. "He was big," she wrote, and the word echoed with more meaning than just a comment on his height or broad shoulders. It was a statement filled with awe, admiration, and almost a confession, as if invoking a presence that had once overwhelmed her. Physically, Gregory Peck embodied classic Hollywood masculinity. Taller than most of his contemporaries, his commanding presence left a lasting impression on both audiences and his co-stars. Bergman, a woman who had worked with legends across continents, from Humphrey Bogart to Cary Grant, was still struck by the sheer presence Gregory Peck radiated the moment he stepped onto a set. She observed that he didn't merely enter a room. He filled it. His stature was commanding, almost Roman in its nobility, yet never intimidating. His posture exuded gentleness, and his graceful gestures softened the raw power of his physical presence. But when Bergman spoke of his largeness, she was also referring to his soul. Peck's moral compass, his quiet intensity, and his deep integrity created something truly immense. She recalled that he had a magnetic pull, as if even the air paused to listen when he spoke. She described how even in the most ordinary conversations, he had a way of making you feel like your words mattered deeply. You couldn't lie to him, she confessed. He had eyes that saw through you, not in a way that made you feel exposed, but in a way that made you want to be honest. Their time working together, both on and off screen, was filled with tension, a delicate balance between professional admiration and a powerful, unspoken connection. Bergman admitted, "There were moments I would look at him from across a scene and forget my lines. Not from nerves, but because I was genuinely captivated by the man in front of me." She described it not as desire, but as reverence, a kind of emotional surrender to someone who seemed crafted from something timeless. She also remembered how Peck carried the weight of fame with a humility that deeply impressed her. In a world where vanity is a survival skill, Gregory stood firm, she wrote. He never needed to be the loudest in the room. His silences often spoke more than 100 words. She noticed he took his roles seriously, not for glory, but because he saw acting as a way to tell the truth, even if the truth was fictional. He believed in goodness, not the naive kind, but the resilient kind. The kind you had to fight for, scene after scene. In her memoir, Bergman revealed that working with Gregory Peck made her feel challenged, seen, and ultimately changed. He left a mark on me, not just as an actor but as a woman. He reminded me that greatness doesn't lie in perfection, it lies in presence. Gregory was present in the deepest, most magnificent sense of the word. So when she wrote, "He was big," it wasn't a throwaway line or a tabloid quote. It was a summation of a man whose greatness touched her in more ways than she ever expected. Physically, emotionally, artistically, and spiritually. During the early 1970s, while The Constant Wife was playing in London, Ingrid Bergman's life took a dramatic and unexpected turn. At a time when she was still commanding the stage with the magnetism that had long defined her film career, she noticed a troubling physical anomaly: a hard lump beneath her left breast. Despite a demanding performance schedule, Bergman, known for her discipline and meticulousness, acted swiftly. On June 15, 1974, she underwent surgery at a private clinic in London to remove the tumor. Though the procedure was kept private, it marked the beginning of a long and difficult battle with breast cancer, a fight she chose to face with resilience, courage, and an unwavering dedication to her craft. But the cancer didn't stop there. Years later, while immersed in the emotionally charged filming of Autumn Sonata, one of her most powerful and critically acclaimed performances, Bergman once again discovered a concerning lump. This second discovery prompted her to return urgently to London for another operation. This experience was especially symbolic. Even as her body was fighting a terminal illness, she delivered one of the rawest, most complex, and emotionally vulnerable performances of her career under the direction of Ingmar Bergman, no relation, in a role that seemed to mirror her own real-life emotional trials. Following surgery and recovery, demonstrating her indomitable spirit and tireless work ethic, Bergman immediately began rehearsals for The Waters of the Moon, a 1978 television adaptation. She refused to let her illness define or limit her. Despite the relentless progression of the disease, she continued to take on meaningful roles, including one of the most significant of her later career, portraying Israeli Prime Minister Golda Meir in the 1981 television film A Woman Called Golda. This role was both bold and deeply moving. By then, Bergman was physically frail, her face altered by treatments and time. Yet she embodied Meir with profound strength and dignity. Filming was grueling, and her health suffered greatly. But she completed the project with her trademark professionalism. The performance earned her both an Emmy and a Golden Globe, a final affirmation of her monumental legacy in dramatic art. Afterward, Bergman withdrew from public life and returned to her apartment in the elegant Cheney Gardens area of London, near the Thames River. The neighborhood, known for its artistic residences and peaceful charm, became her retreat of solitude and quiet struggle. There, she began undergoing regular chemotherapy treatments. The once radiant star who had captivated millions now faced illness with quiet composure. Paparazzi and fans often gathered outside her building, camping on the sidewalk in hopes of catching a glimpse of the legendary actress. Aware of their presence, but unwilling to let them see her frailty, she avoided the front windows. The disease had now ravaged her body. Cancer had spread to her spine, fracturing the 12th vertebra and causing intense pain and limited mobility. Her right lung had ceased functioning entirely, and only a portion of her left lung was still active. Yet even in her darkest days, she never relinquished her inner strength. Ingrid Bergman passed away in London shortly after midnight on August 29, 1982, tragically on her 67th birthday. Her death was peaceful, surrounded by the people she loved. Her former husband, Swedish theatrical producer Lars Schmidt, with whom she had maintained a warm and affectionate relationship, was at her bedside along with 3 others. That evening, just hours before she passed, they raised glasses to toast her, a gesture both intimate and symbolic, filled with joy, sorrow, and the weight of impending loss. By her bedside lay a copy of The Little Prince, the philosophical novella by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Cherished by Bergman for its themes of innocence, loss, and the unseen essence of things, it was opened to a page near the end, perhaps a quiet, final reflection on her soul's journey. Her memorial was held in October at the historic St. Martin-in-the-Fields Church in London. It was a solemn, elegant event attended by 200 mourners from around the world. Among them were her 3 children, including Isabella Rossellini, then forging her own path in cinema, the extended Rossellini family, and relatives who had flown in from Sweden to say goodbye to one of their brightest stars. The ceremony drew a distinguished gathering of performing arts luminaries. Acclaimed actors and longtime colleagues such as Liv Ullmann, Sir John Gielgud, Dame Wendy Hiller, Birgit Nilsson, and Jos Ackland were present, each paying tribute in their own way. Readings from Shakespeare echoed through the service, reflecting Bergman's deep roots in classical theater. Musical selections included the cheerful tune "This Old Man," made famous in The Inn of the Sixth Happiness, and the nostalgic "As Time Goes By," immortalized by Bergman's voice in Casablanca, a song that seemed to encapsulate the entirety of her life and career. Her grandson, Justin Daly, later recalled the chaos and emotion of that day. Hundreds of photographers swarmed the scene, scrambling for position, snapping shots as mourners tried to grieve. Daly remembered being struck on the head by a camera amid the frenzy, but in the midst of pain and confusion, he had a profound realization that Ingrid Bergman was no longer just his grandmother. Amid all that chaos, he said, He could feel that she was no longer just his. She belonged to everyone. She belonged to the world. And that was the shared sentiment of millions. Ingrid Bergman was not just a mother, a grandmother, or a friend. She was a symbol whose art, courage, and humanity had touched every corner of the globe.